Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes HK activist seeks asylum in UK after coercion into police mole. Japanese second-hand goods chain to upgrade Hong Kong business. Agnes Chow wanted in Hong Kong after breaking bail terms. Questions swirl as deafening silence surrounds future of Kai Tak Sports Park. Forever Cheer picks Hong Kong as gateway for global launch of pain management drugs. HK activist seeks asylum in UK after coercion into police mole. Bloomberg. Tony Chung, a pro-independence activist from Hong Kong, has fled to the UK and applied for political asylum, claiming that he was pressured by national security police to become a mole informing on other activists. Chung, who was sentenced to prison for secession under the national security law, said that he was put under surveillance after his release in June and was banned from accepting a summer job. He alleged that he was paid for information and gave activists itineraries to the police. Chung's case highlights the tactics used by the secretive National Security Police to crack down on dissent in Hong Kong. Japanese second-hand goods chain to upgrade Hong Kong business. Nikkei Asia. Japanese second-hand goods seller Coercion Holdings plans to establish an Asia regional headquarters in Hong Kong and open more shops in the city and Thailand. Coercion believes there is ample buried treasure in Hong Kong that it can tap into, as the city has one of the largest populations of wealthy individuals globally. The company plans to use its new Hong Kong base to balance product supply and demand across the region, boosting sales by sourcing merchandise in response to demand and price trends. Agnes Chow wanted in Hong Kong after breaking bail terms. Nikkei Asia. Hong Kong police are pursuing pro-democracy activist Agnes Chow, who recently fled to Canada, for breaking the terms of her bail. Chow did not report to the police station as required on Thursday. The authorities consider Chow a fugitive who has broken her legal obligations, as she was out on bail after being arrested on suspicion of colluding with foreign forces. The Hong Kong government has been actively pursuing pro-democracy activists who now live abroad, issuing arrest warrants for 13 other overseas dissidents prior to Chow's case. Questions swirl as deafening silence surrounds future of Kai Tak Sports Park. South China Morning Post. Questions have been raised about the future use of Hong Kong's Kai Tak Sports Park, a 30 billion Hong Kong dollars, $3.9 billion, publicly funded project that is expected to be completed by the end of 2024. The park's operators and the agency responsible for bringing in events have declined to reveal their plans for regularly filling the facility. The city is struggling to attract top athletes and entertainers, and foreign clubs now command high fees from other cities, making it difficult for Hong Kong to match these costs. Singapore, on the other hand, has managed to attract top football clubs such as Liverpool, Roma, Bayern Munich, and Tottenham for its football festival, which is bankrolled by Standard Chartered. The agent employed to procure events for Kai Tak, Sport 5, has yet to detail its plans, saying only that there will be a mix of events. The government has also declined to reveal its vision for the park. The park's operator, Kai Tak Sports Park Limited, was tasked with hosting sports events in the stadium for a minimum of 40 days a year in the first 5 years, with a fine of 500,000 Hong Kong dollars for every day it falls short. Forever Cheer picks Hong Kong as gateway for global launch of pain management drugs. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong-based biotech firm Forever Cheer Holding has chosen the city as the base for its global expansion plans. Forever Cheer specializes in discovering neuroscience therapeutic targets and developing first-in-class drugs. The company is currently undergoing clinical trials for drugs targeting the inhibition of adenylate cyclase for human and animal use, with positive results in treating chronic pain. The global market for chronic pain management is projected to reach $173.4 billion by 2033, according to Market.us. Yuan seen rising versus dollar in 2024 as capital outflows ease. Bloomberg. China's yuan is expected to strengthen for the first time in 3 years in 2024, according to a Bloomberg survey of traders and analysts. The median forecast is for the currency to appreciate to 7 against the US dollar by the end of next year, compared to its current level of 7.1124. The narrowing of the US-China interest rate gap as the Federal Reserve eases policy is expected to be the main driver behind the yuan's appreciation. However, concerns over China's property market, weak economic recovery, and tensions with the US are likely to keep foreign investors cautious. China's stock market sees foreign inflows dry up in dismal year. Bloomberg. Foreign investors are expected to record their smallest ever annual purchases of Chinese stocks in 2022 due to concerns over the fragile economic recovery and geopolitical tensions. Foreign funds have only bought 44 billion Chinese yuan, $6.1 billion, of onshore stocks via trading links with Hong Kong on a net basis so far this year, the lowest since Bloomberg began compiling annual data in 2017. The poor performance of China's stock market this year, a lack of strong stimulus, and regulatory uncertainties have led to a heavy sell-off. Overseas funds are set to flee Chinese stocks for the 5th consecutive month in December, the longest such streak on record. However, some analysts believe that the end of depreciation pressure for the yuan, combined with the U.S. Federal Reserve's pause in interest rate hikes and an improving economic outlook, could drive foreign investors back into China. China's richest provinces promise to take lead in driving growth. Bloomberg. Chinese provinces have outlined their priorities for 2024, with several wealthy regions pledging to take the lead in driving national economic growth. Provinces such as Zhejiang and Guangdong have responded to the central government's call for economically strong regions to play a pivotal role in supporting the national economy by pledging to boost infrastructure investment and grow in high value-added sectors. Meanwhile, less developed and debt-ridden provinces have promised to help local economies recover and prevent risks from spiraling out of control. The provincial figures will offer clues to China's national growth target for 2024. First FT, foreign investors unwind $33 billion bet on China. Financial Times. Foreign investors are pulling out of China, with nearly 90% of the money that flowed into the country's stock market in 2023 having left. Net foreign investment in China-listed shares reached a peak of 235 billion renminbi, $33 billion, in August. This figure has since fallen 87% to just 30.7 billion renminbi. Traders and analysts have blamed the pessimism on the outlook for the Chinese economy among global fund managers. Former Hong Kong independence group leader seeks asylum in Britain. The Globe and Mail. Tony Chung, the former leader of a Hong Kong pro-independence group who was sentenced to prison under China's national security law, has fled to the UK and applied for political asylum. Chung, who was charged with secession and denied bail, said he was subjected to coercion and surveillance by national security police officers, which led to significant mental stress and a weakened immune system. Chung also claimed that he was forced to participate in a de-radicalization program in detention. The former British colony of Hong Kong returned to Chinese rule in 1997 with the promise of a high degree of autonomy, but pro-democracy activists and Western governments accuse China of breaking that promise. Electric car companies from China are flocking to Hong Kong. Bloomberg. Chinese electric car companies are setting up in Hong Kong to take advantage of the city's financial system, investing more than $1 billion and creating hundreds of jobs. Hong Kong's financial sector and capital flows can help EV companies, where mainland banks cannot, according to Su Haidong of the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers. Chinese EV makers are expanding rapidly as overseas sales grow, with BYD and Great Wall Motor looking to localize production in Europe. Foreign exchange controls mean money cannot be freely moved in or out of China, but Hong Kong falls outside these regulations. What you may have overlooked in China this year. Bloomberg. Mexico has overtaken China as the biggest source of imports for the U.S., with cars and trucks forming a major part of Mexico's expanded trade as automakers like Tesla boost operations there. Taiwanese assemblers, including Quanta Computer and Foxconn, have also shifted their manufacturing to Mexico, taking on more work for U.S. clients. Rising wages in China and national security concerns have diminished China's cost advantage and led to a shift away from Chinese manufacturing. In addition, Chinese airlines are struggling to recover as international routes remain at less than half of pre-COVID levels, indicating a growing disintegration from the rest of the world. Meanwhile, China's industrial sector is booming as new loans to real estate developers slow, with debt issued to industrial enterprises growing by over 30% in 2023 compared to 5% for real estate development. Chinese to skip flying overseas in 2024 even as domestic travel booms. Bloomberg. China's aviation market is recovering as the pandemic subsides, however, analysts are concerned about the outlook for 2024. International travel demand remains weak due to a sluggish economy, weaker currency, and high ticket prices. Morgan Stanley does not expect China's international air travel to fully recover until 2025. While air travel within China is strong, international travel is expected to recover gradually. The Lunar New Year break in February is expected to provide a boost, as China's main holiday is traditionally a busy time for travel. Wars, Trump's courtroom dramas, and Our New King, The World in 2023. The Sydney Morning Herald. The year 2023 was filled with major stories and events from around the world. In North Asia, China struggled to re-engage with the world after lifting COVID restrictions, with its economy suffering and foreign investors hesitant to return. The Chinese government also faced challenges in repairing fractured ties with the United States and Australia. In Southeast Asia, there were political dynasties emerging in Indonesia and the Philippines, while Thailand experienced political drama and Malaysia saw stability under Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Timor-Leste sought to secure a deal with Australia, and armed ethnic groups in Myanmar captured military outposts. In Europe, Russia's notorious mercenary leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, staged a failed insurrection. The war in Ukraine continued to cast a shadow across Europe, leading to economic and political unrest. Far-right and populist forces gained traction in countries like Slovakia, Germany, and the Netherlands. In the Middle East, violence and conflict persisted in Israeli-occupied territories and the Gaza Strip, while Saudi Arabia continued its efforts to diversify its economy through sports and entertainment. The United Arab Emirates hosted the UN Climate Change Conference in Dubai. In North America, former U.S. President Donald Trump dominated the headlines despite facing numerous criminal charges. President Joe Biden faced political and domestic challenges, including partisan battles over aid to Ukraine and support for Israel. In South America, Brazil saw the inauguration of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and a Trumpian election in Argentina. The Venezuelan crisis continued, and violence marred elections in Ecuador and Peru. Africa experienced severe flooding and drought, coups in Niger and Gabon, and ongoing conflicts in Sudan and Ethiopia. In Oceania, New Zealand saw the resignation of its prime minister, a change in government, and a rise in crime. China's influence in the Pacific region also became a significant issue. If EVs are the future is a long way off. Bloomberg. Chinese automaker BYD has surpassed Tesla in electric vehicle (EV) deliveries this year, highlighting the Chinese dominance in the EV market. Liam Denning, writing for Bloomberg Opinion, suggests that one of the key reasons for China's success in this area is the affordable pricing of its EV models. Denning argues that an EV revolution needs reasonably priced electric vehicles, rather than expensive models that only appeal to a niche market. He also notes that the Chinese market has shown a greater affinity for EVs compared to the US, where internal combustion engines still dominate. Denning's comments come in the wake of news that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is pushing Tesla to recall all its vehicles due to safety concerns related to the company's autopilot system. This has led to questions about the feasibility of self-driving cars and whether Tesla can address the issue. Denning concludes by pointing out that global demand for gasoline has returned to pre-pandemic levels, suggesting that the plug-in future has not yet arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the sixth dimension, bringing you the latest news from all corners of the world. Today, we covered an array of topics ranging from the political turbulence in Hong Kong to China's economic landscape and the future of electric vehicles. Let's dive into some deeper analysis. In Hong Kong, pro-independence activist Tony Chung sought asylum in the UK, claiming coercion by national security police to become an informant. This case sheds light on the tactics used to suppress dissent in Hong Kong and raises questions about the erosion of civil liberties. Meanwhile, Japanese secondhand goods chain, Kamihio Holdings, plans to boost its Hong Kong business, capitalizing on the city's wealthy population. This move highlights Hong Kong's potential as a regional hub for luxury retail. On the political front, Hong Kong police are pursuing pro-democracy activist Agnes Chow, who fled to Canada, for breaking bail terms. The Hong Kong government's pursuit of activists residing abroad further underscores its determination to silence dissent. Moving on to sports, questions surround the future of Hong Kong's Kai Tak Sports Park, a multi-billion-dollar project. The city is struggling to attract top athletes and entertainers, making it challenging to fill the facility. In contrast, Singapore has successfully attracted renowned football clubs, raising questions about Hong Kong's competitiveness in the sports industry. In the realm of biotech, Hong Kong-based Forever Cheer Holding has chosen the city as its base for global expansion. The company's focus on pain management drugs aligns with the growing market demand, presenting an opportunity for Hong Kong to establish itself as a biotech hub. Shifting our focus to the financial sector, analysts predict that China's yuan will strengthen against the US dollar in 2024, as the US-China interest rate gap narrows. However, concerns over China's property market and geopolitical tensions may dampen foreign investors' enthusiasm. Foreign investors' interest in China's stock market has dwindled this year, with concerns over the fragile economic recovery and geopolitical tensions. This trend highlights the challenges China faces in attracting international investors and restoring confidence in its market. Additionally, Chinese provinces have outlined their priorities for 2024, with economically strong regions pledging to drive national economic growth. This decentralization of economic power could have significant implications for China's overall growth trajectory. Moving beyond China, we observed Mexico surpassing China as the biggest source of imports for the U.S. Rising wages and national security concerns have led to a shift away from Chinese manufacturing, favoring countries like Mexico. In aviation news, China's domestic air travel is booming, but international travel remains weak due to a sluggish economy and high ticket prices. While air travel within China is strong, analysts do not expect international air travel to fully recover until 2025. Finally, in the world of electric vehicles, Chinese automaker BYD has surpassed Tesla in EV deliveries this year. This highlights China's dominance in the EV market, attributed to affordable pricing and a greater affinity for EVs among Chinese consumers. That concludes our news coverage for today. Remember, these are just a few highlights from the vast tapestry of global affairs. I encourage you to share your thoughts and join the discussion. What are your views on these topics? Do you have any burning questions? Let's engage and embark on a journey of exploration together. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. we encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6do Brief via email.